Hello, folks. We're back again, and we've got a little guest here. And I don't mean Owen. I'm talking about Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick is here to, ramble or jumble through this maze and die.
I'm avoiding therapy.
I'm not avoiding my family. It's just, I'm stuck. I'm a pickle.
I feel like this is one of my favorite and the most iconic Rick and Morty episodes.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely one that... I have a t-shirt that has Pickle Rick on it, and I was making aquarium videos with it, and people asked if I would just please stop wearing it because it was so distracting. It was just like staring at him with this like deadpan look. This has been sitting, you probably noticed it back here sitting, it's actually a game.
Yep.
And it's one of the better ones of these games. Now, when this initially came out, it was kind of expensive, but I believe the price dropped on it a lot, and eventually people got sick of storing this big pickle on their shelf. Maybe they got sick of it staring at them, and it went on sale a lot.
Well, I could see people buying this simply like as it is, just as a pickle character to stick somewhere as a decoration, and it works really well as a decoration. I don't think I knew it was a game. You probably told me once or twice. I even forgot and just thought, oh, that's that pickle decoration, Pickle Rick decoration that.
Well, I think initially it was like $50-something for this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. And now that you played it, I mean, it's got some standees. It's got two miniatures that are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty nice miniatures, not to scale, of course, because he's a pickle, and that would be really tiny. But you've got Pickle Rick all decked out in his gear, and the Jaguar, his nemesis.
Jaguar. Yeah, and Sean's painted these too. So these didn't. Yeah, you did paint these. They didn't come this way. And they actually look pretty nice. I know you're not seeing it that far away very well, but you can see all the little battery packs. He's got his little whatever photon shooting gun, electric energy weapon with cartridges that are just whatever 8 AA batteries, I guess, that he's using.
Yeah, and it's funny. These sculpts did a really good job of capturing that kind of weird cartoon style of it without and kind of staying true to the proportions, which is kind of hard to do when things go from 2D to 3D.
That's what I thought looking at the Jaguar character. He actually did really look like the cartoon when you're looking at him. Sometimes it's a little goofy when you see them take like a 2D image, cartoon image, and try to turn it into a 3D model. It looks weird with bubbly eyes or something, but that actually does look like a lot like just the 2D image when you're looking at it head on.
Especially with weird art styles, they're kind of more esoteric kind of art styles and stuff. They don't translate to the 3D real well.
Yeah.
But I like Rick and Morty stuff. I liked. I was given this as a gift from a person I knew, and apparently it had gone on sale. And I think down on sale it was like $22 or so.
That's about right.
I would probably pay $22 just to have this. I love to get pose it in front of the aquariums and take pictures and stuff with it. And take it places. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And
is that a pickle in your pocket?
He's on my shoulder.
Is it a pickle in your pocket, or do you just have a game you want to play with me?
Hello, this is just a further explanation for the Pickle Rick game, and it's not a full how to play, but this will give you a sense of what this game is and how it plays. So this is a 2-player game, Pickle Rick versus the Russians. What you do in this game is Pickle Rick's trying to escape. The Russians, for some reason, have a beef with them and would like to kill them. So you're going to take turns going back and forth. You're going to roll these dice. These are custom dice with a number of different values on them. You're going to either take the results of these dice and take actions like attacks and movement, or you're going to use those results to pay for different effects here with these cards. So the Russians cards do a number of things that manipulate the different tiles. They also can deploy more guards and do stuff to kind of help the Jaguar out. Pickle Rick also has a set of cards, and they will allow him to attack and to move and to do all kinds of things to help him escape. You got 3 little panels here to kind of track your progress. So you got a Pickle Rick, and then the Russians get these 2, which is the Russians in general and Jaguar. For the Russians, it's kind of a player's aid, and you got at the top, it kind of tells you what you can do with those dice, as well as inform you about limitations that you have and your ability to re-roll. So for Pickle Rick and the Jaguar, they have health, so they actually can whittle down their health and sometimes heal some of their things. They'll also have like a little special ability and their ability to re-roll outlined right there. So Jaguar doesn't start off with you. As soon as the third red or third blue appears, then Jaguar comes out, and you'll notice that a lot of these tiles have either a red color or a blue color. So the way the tiles are laid out here, this is sort of the way it starts off. And then as Rick encounters obstacles, like this wall here that's preventing him from getting to these guards or getting out, for every one of these that Rick rolls, he'll be able to move. So he could declare that he wants to go this way or this way. Since this way is a little bit closer to his goal, he's going to choose that. And what happens is you take a tile and then you flip it over. This arrow is the direction he was coming from, so that gets placed right here. So then Rick can move this way. Because the walls are going like this, he couldn't normally choose to go here, and he probably wouldn't want to. Now what's interesting too is you'll notice on this card, there's a vent on there. So if he ever encounters a card that has a vent and he decides to move again, he'll draw another card, flip it over, and if there's a vent, you put the two vents together, then he hops over. In this case, he's doubly happy he didn't do that. So for a while at least, the guards are going to be cut off from Rick and can't really do anything. They do have cards that they can play to turn the different colored cards around. That wouldn't help them. This one wouldn't help them right now. And different ones where you'll be taking things off of the stack. And of course, along the way, as Rick makes his way through there, there's going to be other things that happen that kind of work in your favor and let you make his journey that much harder. So the game's actually stored in this pickle that you can set on the shelf, and it came with an insert, but that insert was kind of terrible. So I've removed it, and what I've done here is I've put some pull and pluck foam. I bought this for some other project. You can actually buy this fairly cheaply by the roll, and it makes for making your own foam inserts really easy. And this actually isn't, I wouldn't say this is an insert, but what it does is kind of give everything sort of a padding, so I can put some pressure on it and it doesn't actually do any damage to anything. I've added a couple of these here too to sort of separate the miniatures, and what I do is I just pop the minis in like here and here. I actually had this also. This is like a Zen Bin's bin that's used for storing some of the tokens and stuff. I've got the tiles here wrapped up with a non-elastic rubber band, and they're going to go in like so. I've got the cards here again, non-elastic rubber band, it's kind of sitting right here. And then the dice, I put in a little nice fancy dice pack because they deserve it. I'm just going to put that right on top of the miniature. All its little things like so. And then Pickle Rick just kind of inserts into the pegs here at the top. And voila, Pickle Rick is done. We'll do a tumble test. Okay. And all the contents are none the worse for wear. Nothing's rolling around in here. The miniatures are nice and safe under all that. And that's how I store my Pickle Rick. Of course, he's got a little stand here. So that inserts into the back so you can display him on your shelf if you wish. And he stands up pretty good. So the game inside of this is Pickle Rick in the bottom of the Russian embassy. He'd come up through the toilet in the Russian embassy.
Right, that's what happens. He gets flushed. Is that what happens?
Yeah, okay. That's why he starts off in the bathroom.
I was trying to remember how, because I've seen the episode a while back ago, and I was trying to remember how I remember this whole part. It's the majority of the episode.
He goes down a storm drain, and then he ends up having to kill a roach or something, and then he uses it to kind of limp away, and then he uses parts of different animals and stuff, and he kind of constructs another body for himself, and he goes back up through the sewer, and he ends up in the Russian embassy, which is it's a tough place to escape from, I imagine.
It definitely is. Yeah. Now this is like a silly game. It's it's you don't go into this. This is not like this. It's definitely a light game, and don't go into it thinking that there's. I mean, there's strategy, but like okay,
Rick, it's loose because there's so much luck involved.
Yeah, Rick is overpowered compared to all of these Russian characters that come out, but he's overpowered because he's at the whims of the luck of the draw of this tile pile that really gets him stuck. Because once this is empty, there's no more movement. He can't get around. If he can't find a pathway to his destination, the rooftop of this embassy, then that's it. He's done. And that's what happened with me. I just, out of the luck of what I drew, I could not make a path back to that point. Even though, I mean, I was doing pretty well in the beginning. I got all the way to the end pretty quick, and then was just circling that rooftop and couldn't find an entrance.
Just wall after wall after wall was blocking him up, and he didn't have a card to get around it. And my draws weren't all that great either. But I was hoping to like turn one of these things around and send my guards back down the other way.
Yeah,
and send my guards in after you. But the Rick can get there pretty quickly, but it seems like every now and then you'll just get confounded by bad luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got these. There's a couple little open spots in here that ideally you're trying to kind of go to. There's little guard posts. They're basically just open tiles. If you get into that one, you're getting a free movement through it because it's open in all sections. But otherwise, these walls really get you convoluted. But like, there was no meandering really, like a small amount of meandering as I was going up this. You got one direct path that you're shown, but you don't know what's under the majority of those tiles. I was able to essentially follow that path more or less. I snaked around just a little bit as I was going up it, but once I got to the end, it was just a big circle of confusion. And
plus, I had cards too that were making his choices of tiles reduce.
Right.
So, because if he ever runs out of tiles, basically that's the end of the game. Or if he runs out of his cards, that's the end of the game too.
Yeah, you get fatigued.
So, it's an interesting game. I played it probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And I've always had a good time. But it's very much a beer and pretzels game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just a silly game. Yeah.
And I think it does kind of capture that moment in the show and stuff. So if you're a huge fan of the show, it's neat.
As he's snaking himself through these tunnels, trying to get through this embassy, he runs around corners and he's running into Russian guards all the time. And as I was at the end trying to circle around, I get to this point where there's 6 guards out. And so I have a jetpack card, and I just completely backtrack my way back around. It's like a 5 tile movement card. So that was pretty thematic. Like I'm in the middle of everybody, and then I just jetpack off and run around everybody, only to get stuck at the end and still lose. But it was fun. It was neat. It was silly and nothing to take too seriously.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I'm not sure what the availability is on this, but I have seen it for sale in secondhand. Every now and then I'll see it in Facebook Marketplace and stuff because I looked for it once before, and now it shows me every time it shows up.
It's a great in between game for like heavier games, like if you just want to break.
And it looks cool on your shelf.
And it's funny. It's got and if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, I think you're gonna enjoy it. If you like that whole thing. The cards are pretty thematic. The little moves and things that you can do are all kind of based off the silly things that happened during the episode. So I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, it is 2-player, so it's not for a group of people, but it is the best of the Rick and Morty games that I've played, because some of the other ones are kind of lame. I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
I didn't like them.
It's like they used to do that joke on South Park about selling out or whatever. The characters were talking about selling out, and that was always this big joke about you get kind of famous and you sell out, and certainly they're selling out the IP as they can.
But even if you played this game and it was
still,
like too easy or too much luck involved for you, or you'd never play with just two people or something, even if all those things are true, this thing looks awesome on the shelf. Yeah. So don't spend $50 for it. But if you find it in the $20 range, it's a pretty fun little dueling game that you can play before game night or late on a Monday night after work.
Yeah, you just want something silly to play.
Yep, it's there.
Pickle Rick,
I'm there for you.
Pickle.
I'm there for your entertainment. This is just a quick little review. Owen and I like to review things, and if you'd like to see more of them, here's a playlist right here. And over here's something that YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy. Isn't that wild?
It is wild.
I didn't expect that for you, but I think you should maybe check it out. And check us out. You can subscribe to our channels. We'd love to see you again. Until next time, enjoy your games, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.